Imagine you're sitting alone in a quiet room. No noise from outside, no one to talk to. How does it feel? Some might feel peace, others might feel emptiness. But what if being alone could be your greatest source of happiness? What if you could enjoy your own company as deeply as the company of others? Have you ever noticed how often we seek happiness from outside ourselves? From friends, family, or even social media? Yet, after all that, a feeling of loneliness or restlessness still lingers. Why is it so hard to feel truly happy when we are alone? What stops us from being at peace with ourselves? Think of a simple moment. Perhaps you're sipping a cup of tea or watching the sunset. Are you fully present with yourself? Or is your mind wandering to worries and distractions? How often do you pause to appreciate your own presence without needing anything else? Many people struggle with the idea of solitude. They fear it or misunderstand it. But Buddhist teachings remind us that true happiness is not found in external things, but inside. When we learn to be comfortable alone, we open a door to lasting peace and joy. Here is a simple example. Imagine a flower growing in a quiet garden. It does not need to look at other flowers to know it is beautiful. It simply blooms fully and freely. Like the flower, we too can bloom beautifully when we learn to enjoy our own company. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. In this video, we will explore how to find happiness within ourselves using gentle wisdom from Buddhism. You will discover practical ways to befriend yourself and turn solitude into a source of strength and joy. If you find this message meaningful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more valuable insights to you and others seeking peace. Don't forget to drop down your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters here. And to stay positive till the very end of this video, please type Namo Buddhaya in the comments below. This simple phrase connects us to the timeless wisdom of the Buddha and reminds us of the peace we can cultivate inside. Now, let's begin this journey together, step by step, toward finding happiness in your own company. Imagine a man walking through a dense forest. The path is covered with leaves, and the trees stand tall all around him. He is not lost, but he feels a strange emptiness inside. Though he hears birds and feels the breeze, a quiet loneliness wraps around his heart like a shadow. This is how many people live their lives, surrounded by people, noise, and activity, yet feeling alone. Loneliness is not just about being physically by yourself. It is a feeling that can exist even in a crowded room. Have you ever felt this way? Surrounded by family, friends, or colleagues, yet somehow distant and disconnected? This feeling is natural, but also holds a message for us. In our busy lives, we often forget how to be with ourselves. We reach out to others, looking for comfort and approval, as if happiness depends on someone else's presence. But the truth is, happiness that depends on others is like a candle flame blown by the wind, unstable and fleeting. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we cling to things outside ourselves. When we depend on others to fill an emptiness within, we are holding onto an illusion. This illusion is the root of loneliness. It makes us believe that only company can heal us, but the deepest healing comes from within. Think about your own daily life. How often do you rush from one place to another, distracted by work, errands, or technology? When do you find time to simply be still, to listen to your own breath, your own heart? The silence inside us is not empty. It is full of life, waiting patiently to be heard. When loneliness visits, it can feel like a heavy cloud blocking the sun. But it is not a punishment. It is an invitation to turn inward, to meet yourself with kindness and curiosity. Imagine sitting quietly, watching the cloud, not pushing it away, but letting it pass naturally. In this way, loneliness can become a teacher rather than a foe. You might wonder, how do I start this journey? How do I become comfortable being alone when loneliness feels so painful? The answer lies in simple steps, repeated gently each day. Begin by noticing your breath. Sit quietly and observe how you breathe in and out. The breath is your constant companion, always with you, even when everything else changes. When your mind wanders, bring your attention back to the breath. This simple practice connects you with yourself in the present moment. Next, learn to watch your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When loneliness arises, instead of pushing it away or trying to fill it quickly, acknowledge it softly. Say to yourself, I see you, loneliness. I'm here with you. This acceptance opens space for healing. Many fear silence because it reveals feelings they have long avoided. But like the forest after a storm, silence allows wounds to heal and new growth to begin. In silence, you meet your true self beyond roles, masks, and expectations. This journey is not about escaping loneliness, but understanding it deeply. Loneliness, when seen clearly, shows us where we have disconnected from our own heart. By reconnecting, we find a wellspring of love and peace inside us that never runs dry. The Zen masters say that being alone is not loneliness. It is a sacred relationship with yourself. When you truly enjoy your own company, you are never alone. You are whole. You become like the mountain, solid, steady, and calm, no matter what storms blow across your life. In daily life, try to create small moments for yourself. Wake up a little earlier to sit quietly with a cup of tea. Take a short walk without your phone, feeling each step. These small acts teach you how to enjoy being with yourself. Sometimes, you may feel lonely again. This is normal. The mind is like the sea, with waves rising and falling. But the deeper ocean beneath is still and peaceful. Meditation and mindfulness help you touch that calm ocean, no matter how high the waves seem. Remember, loneliness is not your enemy. It is a guide. It asks you to slow down, to look inward, and to heal. When you meet loneliness with love, it transforms into solitude, a state of peaceful aloneness that nurtures your soul. You may also notice that as you grow comfortable with your own company, your relationships with others deepen. When you are full inside, you share your true self freely. You listen better. You love without needing anything in return. The Buddha's way shows us that true happiness is not in avoiding loneliness, but in embracing it with wisdom and compassion. By doing this, we find freedom. Freedom from fear, from restlessness, and from the endless search for approval outside. So, walk gently through your inner forest. Notice the shadows, the light, the silence, and the sounds. They all belong to you. They are part of your journey to find happiness in your own company. This path is not quick or easy, but it is deeply rewarding. Every step you take toward understanding yourself is a step toward peace. Trust that even in the quiet moments when you feel alone, you are not truly alone. You are with the most important person in your life, yourself. As you continue, remember to be patient and kind. Like the flower that blooms slowly, you too will blossom in time. Let loneliness teach you how to be still, how to listen, and how to love your own presence. In this way, the forest no longer feels dark or empty. It becomes a place of refuge and joy, a sacred space where you can rest, grow, and shine. Listen closely. There's a quiet place within you, a place untouched by noise or worry. This place is always there, waiting, is your true home, your refuge. The Buddha taught that happiness does not come from outside. It grows like a seed inside your own heart. When you understand this, you begin to see solitude in a new light. Solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is a feeling that comes when we think something is missing. But solitude is a choice to be with yourself peacefully. The Buddha sat alone under the Bodhi tree, not to escape the world, but to find the truth inside himself. In that stillness, he discovered the path to freedom. Many fear being alone because they have never truly met themselves. They have spent so much time looking outward, chasing distractions, that the silence feels strange, even frightening. But in solitude, you meet your true self. You see your thoughts and feelings clearly, without judgment. Imagine sitting quietly like the Buddha did, watching your breath come and go. You do not try to change anything. You just observe. This simple act is a powerful way to connect with your inner peace. When you stop running from yourself, you find that your own company can be gentle and kind. The Buddha spoke of anicca, or impermanence. Everything changes, everything flows. When we cling to people or things outside us for happiness, we set ourselves up for suffering. But when we turn inward, we learn to flow with life. We accept change and rest in a calm that does not depend on what happens outside. In this way, solitude becomes a teacher. It shows us how to let go of our fears and desires. It helps us understand that the real happiness we seek is not in having or doing, but in simply being. Being present fully and quietly with ourselves and the world as it is. You might wonder, how can I practice this in daily life? Start small. Find a moment each day to be still. Sit quietly for a few minutes and watch your breath. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back. This is not about forcing thoughts away, but about learning to see them without being caught by them. As you practice, you will notice a shift. The urge to fill every moment with noise or activity will lessen. You will begin to enjoy the silence and your own presence more deeply. This is the beginning of true contentment. Remember, the Buddha's path is one of compassion, especially toward yourself. When you sit alone, be patient and kind. Do not judge yourself for feeling restless or uneasy. These feelings will pass like clouds drifting in the sky. In solitude, you can hear your heart's quiet voice. It speaks of what you truly need: peace, kindness, and understanding. When you listen, you find that you're never truly alone. There's a companion inside you who never leaves, who loves you just as you are. The Buddha also taught metta, loving kindness. As you sit in solitude, offer this kindness to yourself. Say silently, "May I be happy, may I be safe, may I be peaceful." This simple practice helps build a warm and gentle relationship with your own mind. Do not rush this process. Like planting a seed, happiness in solitude needs time and care. But with patience, it will grow strong roots. You will feel more steady, more calm, and more alive than ever before. You may also discover that solitude frees you from a need to seek approval or validation from others. When your happiness comes from within, the opinions and judgments of the world lose their power over you. This freedom is the heart of the Buddhist teaching. In this freedom, your life changes. You become less afraid of being alone because you know you carry a deep happiness inside. You can be alone without feeling lonely. You can be silent without feeling empty. Sometimes, you may feel like turning away from solitude again. This is natural. The mind often clings to habits of distraction and noise. When this happens, gently remind yourself of the quiet peace waiting inside. Return to your breath. Return to your heart. With practice, you will come to see solitude not as a punishment or a problem, but as a blessing. A place where you meet your true self. A place where happiness does not depend on others or circumstances. The Buddha's wisdom shines clearly here. True happiness is never lost and never found outside. It is always present, quietly waiting in the stillness of your own being. So, embrace solitude as a friend. Let it guide you toward freedom and joy. Know that every moment spent with yourself is a step toward awakening. And remember, this path is gentle. Be patient, be kind, and allow yourself to grow in your own time. The peace you seek is already inside you. It only needs your quiet attention to bloom fully. This is the true gift of solitude, the chance to be whole, happy, and free, just as you are. Imagine walking through a garden filled with many flowers. You look at one flower and say, "This one is beautiful." Then you see another and say, "That one is more beautiful." Your mind moves from one flower to another, always seeking the best, the most perfect, the most admired. But the flowers do not change because of your thoughts. They simply are what they are. Many people live their lives like this, searching for approval, praise, or validation from others. They measure their worth by how many compliments they receive, how many friends they have, or how others respond to them. But this is a path that leads only to suffering. Why? Because when we depend on others for our happiness, we give away our power. We become like leaves blown by the wind, tossed by every comment or reaction. In Buddhist teaching, this is called attachment. Attachment to what is outside ourselves, to the opinions, judgments, or acceptance of others, is an illusion. It is like chasing a shadow that moves whenever we reach for it. The more we chase, the more tired and empty we feel. But why do we fall into this trap so easily? It is natural to want to be seen and loved. The mind craves connection and belonging. Yet, when this craving grows too strong, it becomes a chain. We start to live according to others' expectations, forgetting who we truly are. Imagine a mirror reflecting your face. The mirror does not create your image. It only shows what is there. If the mirror is dirty or cracked, the reflection looks distorted. If you depend on the mirror to tell you your true self, you will always be confused. But if you clean the mirror or look beyond it, you can see clearly. In life, the mirror is often other people's opinions. When we rely on them to define our value, our true self becomes hidden or distorted. This is why it is important to find our worth from within, not outside. Buddha taught that everything is impermanent. Praise today can turn to criticism tomorrow. Fame can fade, friends can change, and situations can shift. To build happiness on something so changeable is to build on sand. The wind will always blow it away. Instead, Buddha showed a different way, a way to see ourselves clearly and love ourselves deeply without needing others to approve. This begins with mindfulness, the practice of being present and aware of our own thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. When we look inside, we discover that happiness does not come from what others say about us. It comes from how we treat ourselves. Are we kind? Are we patient? Do we forgive our mistakes? These are the seeds of true peace. Let me tell you a story. A young monk once asked his master, "How can I be happy when others do not praise me?" The master smiled and said, "Do you praise the moon for shining? Or does the moon shine regardless of your words?" The young monk thought deeply and realized that happiness does not depend on others' words, just like the moon does not depend on our praise. When we stop chasing external approval, we free ourselves. We become like the moon, shining quietly in the darkness. Our light does not depend on others seeing it. It simply is. This freedom is a gift. It allows us to live authentically, without fear or pretense. We start to listen to our own heart instead of the noise around us. In this space, we find a deeper happiness, a calm joy that no one can take away. It is not loud or flashy, but steady and true. It grows slowly, like a tree planted firmly in the earth. Sometimes it helps to remember this. When you water a plant, it grows stronger. When you water your own heart with kindness and self-respect, it too grows stronger. No praise from outside can replace the nourishment that comes from within. Of course, it is natural to appreciate kind words or support, but when we depend on them to feel good about ourselves, we lose balance. We become like a ship without an anchor, tossed by every wave of opinion. The Buddha encouraged us to be the anchor for our own lives, to hold steady, no matter what storms arise, to trust ourselves in our own inner wisdom. How we do this? By practicing acceptance. Accept yourself as you are, with all your strengths and imperfections. Accept that you do not need to be perfect or to please everyone. Accept that your value is not tied to achievements or approval. This is not easy at first. The mind resists letting go of old habits. It clings to the idea that others' opinions define us. But with patience and practice, this illusion fades. Try this simple exercise. When you feel the need for approval, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Does my happiness really depend on this? Often, you will find that it does not. The more you practice, the more your confidence grows. You begin to see yourself clearly, without the filters of judgment. You discover that you are enough, just as you are. This clarity brings peace. It calms the restless mind that is always searching for more. It fills the heart with a gentle joy that shines from within. Remember, true happiness is not a prize to be won. It is a natural state that arises when we stop chasing illusions. When we stop needing the world to validate us, we open the door to freedom. So, take a moment now. Close your eyes if you wish. Feel the weight of your own presence. Feel that you are here, alive, complete. No one needs to tell you that you are worthy. You already are. This is the heart of the Buddhist teaching on self-worth and happiness. It is a path to peace that anyone can walk at any age or stage of life. In the quiet stillness of your own company, you can find a friend who never leaves, a light that never dims, a happiness that never fades. This is not just a dream or an idea. It is a living truth waiting for you to discover. May you walk this path with courage and kindness, and may your happiness blossom from within, like the flowers that bloom silently in the morning sun. Imagine, for a moment, that your mind is like a clear lake. When the water is still, you see your reflection perfectly. But when the wind blows and the surface ripples, your reflection becomes unclear. In the same way, when your mind is calm and steady, you see yourself and the world clearly. When your mind is restless, your thoughts scatter, and you lose connection with your true self. Mindfulness is the gentle art of bringing your attention back to this clear lake inside you. It means noticing what is happening right now, your breath, your body, your feelings, without judgment or rushing away. It is simple, yet powerful. Many people think mindfulness is something complicated or hard to do. But it is natural. It is like when you listen carefully to a bird singing or watch the leaves move in the breeze. When you are mindful, you become present with what is, just as it is. In life, we often carry so many thoughts about the past or worries about the future. These thoughts pull us away from the moment we live now. Mindfulness helps us return, again and again, to this moment. When you learn this, loneliness loses its power. Why? Because you're no longer waiting for something or someone to make you feel complete. You are complete, here and now. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the foundation of wisdom. When you're mindful, you see things clearly. You notice how your mind works, its habits, its fears, its joys. You do not need to fight these feelings or run away. You simply observe, and through this observation, you begin to understand yourself deeply. This understanding brings freedom. You begin to realize that your feelings, your thoughts, are like clouds passing across the sky. They come and go, but the sky itself remains vast and unchanged. You are that sky, open, wide, and peaceful beneath whatever weather passes through. Practicing mindfulness does not mean you stop feeling or stop thinking. It means you change your relationship with those feelings and thoughts. Instead of being pulled into them or controlled by them, you watch them gently. You allow them space without becoming lost in their stories. Try this now. Take a deep breath and feel the air enter your body. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Feel your feet on the ground. These small moments of awareness connect you with your true self. They remind you that even when everything outside is noisy or confusing, inside you can find a stillness that supports you. When you live with mindfulness, you begin to appreciate the simple things, the warmth of sunlight, the sound of birds, the taste of your food. You no longer take these things for granted. They become sources of happiness. Over time, mindfulness becomes a habit, like watering a garden every day. You tend your mind with kindness and patience. You become less reactive to pain and difficulty. You find a calm center that no one can take away. This calm center is your true home. It is where happiness begins, not from outside but from within. It is not something to achieve or grab, but something to remember and return to. In daily life, mindfulness can help you in many ways. When you feel lonely, it invites you to sit quietly with yourself without fear. When worries arise, it helps you see them as temporary, not facts. When you face challenges, mindfulness gives you the strength to respond wisely, rather than react blindly. The world around us moves fast, and many feel lost in its speed. But mindfulness teaches you to slow down, to breathe, and to be present. In this presence, you find a deep peace that does not depend on circumstances. The Buddha's path is not about escaping life, but embracing it fully with awareness and compassion. Mindfulness is the doorway. It opens your heart to yourself and to the world. You do not have to meditate for hours to be mindful. Even a few moments in your day, focused on your breath or your senses, can change everything. When you practice regularly, you build a reservoir of calm inside you. This calm supports you in times of joy and sorrow alike. Remember, mindfulness is not a tool to fix yourself. It is a way of seeing who you really are beneath the noise of the mind. It is a way to find yourself when you feel lost. In this practice, you're never alone. The Buddha's wisdom and compassion are always with you. Each mindful breath is a step on the path toward inner wholeness and lasting happiness. So, when you feel restless or disconnected, return to your breath. Return to the moment. Greet yourself with kindness. This simple act is the beginning of freedom. Your happiness does not depend on outside things. It arises naturally when your mind is clear, awake, and full of loving kindness toward yourself. Walk gently on this path. Be patient. Each day, each breath, is an opportunity to return home, to the peace that is always within you. Imagine a moment when you feel alone. You sit quietly, and the silence seems heavy. The mind may tell you, "I am lonely," and this feeling feels real and deep. But, dear friend, what if loneliness is not your enemy? What if loneliness is a doorway to a greater understanding of yourself? Loneliness often arises because we are separated from others, or because we feel separated from ourselves. But in truth, we are never truly alone. Life flows through you, like the wind that moves the leaves or the river that never stops. The challenge is that our minds get caught in thoughts that say, "I am alone, I am separate." These thoughts create walls around the heart. In the stillness of loneliness, there is a chance to turn inward, to meet yourself not with fear or sadness, but with kindness. Imagine meeting your own eyes in a mirror. What do you see? A friend, a stranger, or someone you have ignored for too long? To transform loneliness, we must learn to befriend ourselves with gentle presence. When a mind feels lonely, breathe deeply. Feel your breath moving in and out like waves on a shore. The breath is always here, steady and true, even when thoughts are wild. This breath is a companion who never leaves you. Trust in this simple rhythm. Let it remind you that you are alive, you are present. Often, we search outside for comfort. A smile, a voice, a touch. These are precious, yes, but the deepest comfort comes from within. When you turn your attention inward with love, loneliness softens. It becomes a space where you can rest, where your heart can open. There's a beautiful teaching in Buddhism called metta, or loving kindness. It begins with yourself. When you feel lonely, try this simple practice. Silently say to yourself, "May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be peaceful." Repeat these words slowly, feeling warmth grow in your chest. This warmth is the seed of loving presence. Sometimes loneliness can feel like a cold shadow, but the warmth of loving kindness can melt that shadow away. You are worthy of your own love, just as much as anyone else. This truth is often forgotten, but it is always there beneath the surface. Loneliness can also be a mirror. When you sit with it patiently, you start to see what your heart truly needs. Maybe it is rest, maybe it is forgiveness, maybe it is acceptance. Instead of pushing loneliness away, welcome it as a guest. Ask gently, "What do you have to show me?" You might be surprised by the answers. When loneliness becomes a friend, it changes the way you relate to the world. You begin to carry a quiet strength inside you, a knowing that you are complete, even in silence. This does not mean you reject connection with others. It means you no longer depend on others to fill a space that only you can fill. In daily life, when loneliness arises, take a moment to stop. Close your eyes if you can. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your breath. Let the heart open softly. Imagine the warmth of the sun touching your skin, the gentle breeze brushing your face. These simple things remind you that you are part of a vast web of life, never truly alone. There's a story of a monk who sat alone on a mountain. For many days, he faced his loneliness. At first, it was hard, like a heavy stone in his chest. But over time, he realized the loneliness was a teacher. It taught him patience, compassion, and deep peace. His heart grew wider than the mountain itself. You too can learn from loneliness. You can transform it from a burden into a gift. This takes practice, yes. It takes courage. But every step you take toward loving yourself in solitude is a step toward true happiness. When you feel lonely, remember that it is part of the human experience. Even the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree in deep solitude before awakening. He showed us that in stillness, great wisdom and peace arise. Practice sitting quietly each day, even if only for a few moments. Let your mind rest. Let your heart open. If sadness or loneliness come, do not run. Hold them gently, as you would hold a small bird. Care for them with patience and kindness. In this way, you begin to build a loving presence inside. This presence is your true home. It is a place where loneliness cannot harm you, because you are already whole. You may notice that as this loving presence grows, your need for distraction lessens. You find joy in simple things, the sound of rain, the taste of food, the smile of a stranger. Life feels richer, fuller, because you're not chasing after happiness. Happiness lives quietly inside you. Sometimes, others may not understand your calmness or your peace. They may try to pull you back into noise and busyness. But remember, your journey is your own. You're learning to live deeply and simply, like a tree rooted firmly in the earth. When loneliness comes again, as it may, welcome it once more. See it as a sign that you're growing, learning, opening. It is like winter before spring. It is the silence before the song. In all things, keep your heart gentle. Be patient with yourself. Loving presence is not something you force. It is something you nurture like a garden, day by day, moment by moment, with care and attention. As you walk this path, you will find that your own company is not lonely at all. It is rich, vibrant, and full of life. You are your own best friend, your own home. And in this friendship, the deepest happiness blooms. The role of attachment and detachment in inner peace. In this moment, breathe deeply. Feel the breath come in and go out. Notice how your mind sometimes clings to things, thoughts, feelings, people, or objects, as if they hold your happiness. This clinging, this holding on, is what causes much of our suffering. Attachment is like holding a dry leaf in your hand. You want to keep it safe, but the wind blows and the leaf crumbles. When we hold too tightly to what is outside us, we set ourselves up for pain. We suffer because everything outside is always changing. Nothing is permanent. The Buddha taught us that everything is impermanent. Our joys, our sorrows, even the people we love, all will change with time. But the mind, when it understands this truth, can let go gently. It does not mean giving up or not caring. It means knowing what to hold and what to release. Many people think detachment means being cold or distant. But true detachment is warm and wise. It is like holding a flower softly, enjoying its fragrance without tearing off its petals. It means loving fully, without needing to own or control. When you feel pain from losing something or someone, look inside and ask, am I holding on too tightly? Am I trying to make something permanent that is not? This question is not to blame yourself, but to awaken your awareness. Awareness is the light that shows the path. When you are aware, you see things clearly. You see that pain arises from attachment, and joy comes from freedom. Freedom comes when you open your hand and let go. Not with force, but with kindness toward yourself and the world. This is the art of detachment. Detachment does not mean you do not care about life. It means you care deeply, but without chains. You can love, yet not be enslaved by love. You can enjoy happiness without fearing loss. In this practice, you start to see your own mind as the true home. When you're not caught by craving or aversion, your mind is like calm water reflecting the sky. The sky is always clear. The water can become still. Attachment clouds the water. It stirs up waves of desire, fear, and sadness. But with detachment, the waves settle. Your mind becomes peaceful and steady. Remember, attachment is natural. We are born with desires and needs. The Buddha did not ask us to stop feeling, but to see feelings as they are, passing clouds, not permanent storms. When you experience a strong feeling, do not run away. Do not cling to it. Instead, watch it closely, like a curious child watching a butterfly. See how it moves, how it changes. Feelings come and go like the seasons. In winter, trees lose their leaves, but they do not die. In spring, new leaves appear. So too, our feelings change, but we remain. Detach from the idea that your happiness depends on things outside you. This does not mean you become lonely or empty. It means you become full inside, filled with peace that does not depend on conditions. In Buddhist teaching, this is called non-attachment or upekkha, a balanced mind that remains steady through joy and sorrow alike. To practice this, start small. When you notice a desire arise to have something, to be someone, pause. Take a breath and ask, can I be happy without this? Can I let it be? Do not push the desire away with force. Instead, acknowledge it kindly. Say to yourself, this feeling is here now. I see it. I do not have to follow it. When you do this again and again, your mind trains itself to be free. Like a bird that learns to fly without a cage, you learn to live without chains. Living without chains does not mean ignoring the world. It means engaging with the world, but with wisdom and calm. You can work, love, and enjoy life fully, without fear and grasping. You become like a river, flowing naturally, without blockage. The river does not fight the rocks or the bends. It moves with grace, finding its way. So, when attachment pulls at you, remember the river. Let your mind be like water, flexible, gentle, and strong. Detachment is the door to inner peace. When you walk through this door, you find a place where nothing can disturb you deeply. You become rooted like a great tree, steady, calm, and alive. This tree does not fear the wind or the rain. It bends when needed, but does not break. Its roots go deep into the earth of your true self. The Buddha's teaching is not about emptying yourself of all feeling, but about filling yourself with wisdom and love that do not depend on conditions. When you understand attachment and detachment, you no longer need to run from yourself or from life. You meet life as it is, with courage and kindness. Practice this in your daily moments. When a desire or fear comes, breathe and watch. Do not react quickly. Let your mind be calm like a quiet pond. In this calmness, happiness grows naturally. It is not forced or fake. It comes from being free. Freedom is your birthright. The wisdom of detachment helps you reclaim it. Know that in every breath, you can choose peace over pain, freedom over chains. Keep practicing gently. Be patient with yourself. Change takes time, but every moment is a chance to begin anew. Your mind is your greatest friend or your greatest enemy. Choose to make it your friend through understanding attachment and letting go. This is the way of the Buddha. This is the way to true happiness. Cultivating self-love through right view and right action. So, you've been walking with me for some time now. Step by step, breath by breath, we've been learning how to sit with ourselves, how to soften in silence, how to truly be. And now, we come to a deeper place, a place where the heart begins to open to itself. You see, many people speak of self-love, but often they confuse it with buying things, chasing comfort, or avoiding pain. That is not the love we speak of here. No, the love we're seeking is quiet, still, honest. It's not loud, but it's strong. It does not demand, it understands. It doesn't try to fix everything. Instead, it learns to accept. In the teachings of the Buddha, there is a path, the Noble Eightfold Path. Two parts of this path guide us clearly here, right view and right action. These are not just ideas to read about. They are tools to practice every day. Like watering a small plant, we tend to our mind and our heart with care. Let's begin with right view. What does that mean, really? Simply put, it means to see things as they are. Not how we wish they were. Not how others say they should be. But as they truly are. That includes ourselves. Self-love begins when we stop judging ourselves through the eyes of others. When we stop measuring our worth by mistakes, by age, by appearance, or by achievements. You are not your past. You are not your regrets. You are simply here, alive, breathing. That is enough. Can you look in the mirror and smile gently? Not to admire your face, but to recognize the being behind the eyes, the one who has suffered, who has endured, and who still stands. That being deserves kindness. That being is you. Right view teaches us to see that we are constantly changing. Just as seasons shift, we too are not fixed. You may have made errors. You may carry sorrow. But those things are not who you are. They're like clouds, heavy at times, yes, but they pass. The sky remains. Now, right action. This is how we begin to treat ourselves and others with care. Not with grand gestures. No, with small, real steps. Choosing not to speak harshly to ourselves. Choosing not to overwork just to feel worthy. Choosing rest when we're tired. Saying no when something is not right for us. Saying yes when love knocks softly at the door. Sometimes, the kindest thing we can do is to sit still and listen to our own heart. To ask it softly, what do you need right now? And then, to honor the answer. The Buddha taught that love is not a favor we give to others. It is a nature we uncover within ourselves. Under all the fear, under all the guilt, under all the pretending, there's love. Patient, warm, and forgiving. We only need to stop and look. Each time you choose compassion over criticism, that is right action. Each time you rest without guilt, that is right action. Each time you offer kindness to someone else without expecting anything in return, that too is right action. It strengthens the roots of self-love inside you. Remember, you do not have to be perfect to love yourself. You do not need to fix every flaw. You only need to meet yourself honestly. To say, this is me, and I am trying. That is more than enough. In the quiet moments of your day, try placing a hand over your heart. Feel its beat. It has been with you since the beginning, beating through every sadness, every joy. It asks for nothing but your care. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are simply on the path, your path. And even if you walk slowly, even if you rest often, you are still walking, still growing. Right view allows you to see your worth clearly. Right action allows you to live in harmony with it. Together, they build the foundation of true self-love. Not the kind that needs praise, but the kind that feels peaceful even in silence. And here's something beautiful. When you begin to love yourself gently, something shifts. You stop chasing approval. You stop fearing solitude. You start enjoying your own presence. Others might notice the change, or they might not. But you will feel it. A calm, a strength, a quiet joy. And that is the joy we've been looking for all along. So breathe. Just breathe. You are allowed to be enough, exactly as you are, here now. And tomorrow, we walk again, a little lighter, a little more whole. Listen closely, dear one. Life often feels noisy. Not just the sound around you, but the noise inside your mind. Thoughts rushing like wild rivers. Worries crowding your heart. Endless lists of what if and should have. This noise pulls you away from the peace that is your true nature. But what if you could let that noise go? What if you could find stillness inside yourself? Even when the world outside is loud and busy. Imagine a calm lake. When the wind stops blowing and the rain ceases, the water becomes smooth like glass. It reflects the sky, the trees, and the mountains with perfect clarity. But when the wind blows and the rain falls, the water ripples and distorts. Your mind is like that lake. When the thoughts and worries calm down, your true self shines clearly. But when the mind is restless, you cannot see who you really are. This stillness is not something far away or hard to reach. It is inside you right now. It is the quiet space between your thoughts. Many people try to fill this space with distractions, busy work, noise, screens, endless talking. But these only cover the stillness, never bring it closer. You must learn to welcome silence as a friend. Not the silence that feels empty or lonely, but the silence that is full of peace. When you sit quietly, without trying to change anything, you begin to notice this stillness. It is a gentle presence, a soft light that glows inside your heart. At first, this may be difficult. Your mind will protest. It will want to jump from thought to thought, like a monkey swinging from tree to tree. This is normal. Do not fight it. Simply watch the monkey. Observe the thoughts without chasing them. Watch them come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. In Buddhism, we call this practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is not about stopping thoughts. It is about seeing them clearly without getting tangled. When you see your thoughts with kindness and without judgment, they lose their power to disturb you. Try this now. Close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the air as it enters your nose, fills your lungs, and leaves your body. Focus on this breath. When a thought appears, notice it kindly. Say to yourself, "This is just a thought." Then gently return your attention to your breathing. With patience, this simple practice brings a great gift. The noise begins to fade. Your mind becomes like that calm lake. And in that calmness, you meet yourself. The self that is not afraid. The self that is not hurried. The self that is free. This freedom is the true happiness you seek. It is not found in things outside you. It is found in the quiet heart when you let go of all the noise. Noise can be fear, anger, sadness, or doubt. Letting go does not mean pushing these feelings away. It means accepting them and then choosing not to follow them like a lost traveler. When you accept your feelings without fighting, they change. They lose their sharp edges and become gentle waves. You become the ocean, deep, wide, and calm. Even storms pass over you without breaking your peace. You may wonder, how can I stay in this stillness when life is so busy? This is a wise question. Life will always bring noise, work, family, worries, unexpected troubles. The world is full of movement and change. But stillness does not mean stopping life. It means carrying a quiet place inside you wherever you go. Think of a flame inside a lantern. Even if the wind blows hard, the glass protects the flame. It may flicker, but it does not go out. Your inner stillness is like that flame. You can protect it with mindfulness and kindness. Even in difficult moments, this flame can burn quietly. Do not wait for the perfect moment to find stillness. There's no perfect moment. There's only this moment. Right now, you can take a breath and come home to yourself. Home is not a place, but a feeling of peace that lives inside. Every time you practice, you grow stronger. Like a tree that stands firm in the wind, you learn to stand calm in the storms of life. You learn that no noise, no matter how loud, can touch the stillness within. This does not mean you will never feel upset or lost. It means you will have a place to return to, a gentle refuge that no one can take away. This refuge is your own heart, awake and aware. Remember, letting go of the noise is a journey, not a destination. It takes time and patience. Some days will be easy and others hard. That is natural. Like the changing seasons, your mind will have its cycles. But with each step, you come closer to the peace that is always inside you. The Buddha taught that all things change. This is called impermanence. When you understand this deeply, you see that the noise and chaos will not last forever. They come and go like the wind, but the stillness inside is steady like the mountain. When you rest in this stillness, you connect with your true nature. You remember who you really are, a being of calm, wisdom, and love. This remembrance brings joy that no one can take away. So, do not be afraid to face the quiet. Do not run from the silence. Embrace it with open arms. It is a gift waiting for you every moment of your life. Let the noise fade and feel the peace that shines inside. This peace is your home. This peace is your happiness. In the quiet stillness of the moment, we come to know the art of joyful solitude. This is not simply being alone, but being fully present with oneself, without fear or longing. Many think solitude is empty or lonely, yet in truth, it is a deep and fertile space where the heart can rest and bloom. Long ago, the Buddha walked alone through forests and mountains. He sat beneath trees, not disturbed by the silence, but embraced by it. In that silence, he found a vastness greater than any noise. This silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It holds the entire universe in its calm embrace. To live joyfully in solitude, one must learn to sit still with the mind. This may sound simple, yet it is the greatest practice. The mind is like a restless river, always flowing, always noisy. When alone, this river of thoughts can swirl and create storms. But if we watch the river without judgment, the water settles. The mind becomes clear, like a still lake reflecting the sky. The Buddha taught mindfulness, paying gentle attention to the present moment. When we are alone, we can bring our awareness fully to what is here now. We feel the breath as it enters and leaves. We notice the beating of our heart. We see the light in the room, the colors around us, the sounds near and far. When we do this, we are no longer alone with a restless mind. We are accompanied by the present moment, which is always enough. There is a story from ancient times about a monk named Angulimala. Though his past was troubled, he found peace sitting quietly alone in meditation. It was in the solitude that he discovered kindness for himself and others. This kindness blossomed not because others were near, but because he made friends with his own heart. In joyful solitude, we practice compassion inwardly. When difficult feelings arise, sadness, fear, or loneliness, we don't push them away. We welcome them like old visitors, greeting them with kindness. We understand that these feelings are part of being human, and that in their presence, we learn patience and love. This soft embrace turns solitude into a gentle teacher. Sometimes the world around us is loud and demanding. We rush from task to task, seeking distraction. But the practice of solitude invites us to pause, to slow down. It asks us to listen, not to outside noise, but to the quiet voice within. In this listening, we remember who we truly are beyond roles and expectations. When we sit quietly each day, even for a few minutes, we build a sacred space inside. This space becomes a refuge from life's storms. It is where we return when we feel lost or tired. It is where happiness begins, not from outside pleasures, but from a calm heart that knows itself deeply. Joyful solitude also teaches us to let go. We learn that our true self is not the story our mind tells us, not the worries or desires. Our true self is like the sky, vast, open, and free from clouds. When we let go of clinging to thoughts and fears, we experience freedom. This freedom is the heart of happiness. There's a practice called walking meditation in Buddhism. It is simple but powerful. When we walk slowly and mindfully, paying attention to each step, each breath, we bring the art of solitude into movement. The world around us becomes alive with beauty. We are not separated from nature, but part of it. This connection fills our solitude with life and joy. The Zen masters often speak of beginner's mind. When we are alone, we can see ourselves with fresh eyes, as if we are meeting a new friend. We do not judge or criticize. We simply observe with curiosity and openness. This beginner's mind invites joy, for it frees us from old habits and sadness. In the stillness, we may notice the impermanence of all things. The thoughts we have, the feelings that arise, even the body itself, they all change. This understanding is not meant to make us sad, but to free us from attachment. When we accept change, we stop fighting and start living fully in each moment. Solitude then becomes a joyful dance with life itself. Sometimes, people fear that being alone means being lonely forever. But loneliness is a feeling that comes from not being present with yourself. When you learn to be truly present, loneliness fades like a shadow in the sunlight. You begin to enjoy your own company as much as the company of others. The practice of joyful solitude is not easy at first. The mind resists. Old fears and stories rise. But with patience, day by day, the practice deepens. The heart softens. The mind clears. Slowly, you discover a wellspring of peace and happiness that cannot be taken away. In Buddhist monasteries, Monks often sit together in silence, yet each one is deeply alone with their own practice. This paradox shows us that solitude is not about physical separation, but about the inner experience. You can be in a crowd and feel alone, or you can be alone and feel completely full. As you continue this path, you will find that your relationship with yourself changes. You stop running from your thoughts and feelings. You greet them like old friends. You become a gentle companion to your own heart. This is the true art of joyful solitude. Remember, happiness is not something to chase outside. It is a seed inside you, waiting for care and attention. Solitude gives you the time and space to nurture that seed. With kindness and mindfulness, it will grow strong and bright. So when you're alone next time, do not fear the silence. Welcome it. Sit quietly. Breathe deeply. Watch your thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky. Smile softly to yourself. Know that in this moment, you are exactly where you need to be. This moment is a gift, a chance to find joy in your own company. The practice of joyful solitude is a journey, not a destination. It invites you to be patient, to be gentle, and to be curious. With each breath, you come closer to the peace that has always been inside you. This peace is your true nature. It is the heart of happiness, and it is waiting for you, right here, right now. Imagine waking each day, not chasing something outside, but greeting the morning with calm and joy already in your heart. This is the art of building a life that supports your inner happiness. It is not about grand changes or complicated rituals. Instead, it is the small, steady moments, the gentle choices you make every day that shape your peace within. To live with happiness in your own company means to know how to nourish yourself as your precious plant. It needs sunlight, water, and care. Your mind and heart need the same. When you understand this, you begin to treat yourself with kindness and patience, even in the moments when life feels difficult or lonely. Many believe that happiness comes from external things, from achievements, possessions, or approval. But these are like waves on the ocean. They rise and fall, never lasting. True happiness is the deep, quiet ocean beneath those waves, is steady and vast. To reach this place, you must learn to return inward again and again throughout your day. Start by paying attention to your breath. The breath is always with you, in every moment. When your mind feels restless or sad, gently bring your attention to your breathing. Notice how it flows in and out. This simple act anchors you to the present. It is a doorway to stillness and peace. As you go about your daily tasks, be fully present. Washing the dishes, walking, even listening to a friend, all can be moments of mindfulness. When you give your full attention to what you are doing, your mind quiets. You step out of worry about the future or regret about the past. You live in the now, where happiness is available to you. It is also important to care for your body. Your body is the home you live in. When you eat, choose foods that nourish you. When you rest, allow your body to truly relax. When you move, do so gently and with gratitude. When your body feels cared for, your mind and spirit feel more at ease. Creating a simple daily routine can help your mind feel grounded. Waking and sleeping at regular times, setting moments for meditation or quiet reflection, and making time for gentle movement like walking or stretching. These build a rhythm that supports calm and clarity. You do not need to do everything perfectly. The practice is in showing up for yourself day by day. Sometimes, life will bring challenges. Difficult people, unexpected problems, or feelings of sadness may arise. When this happens, remember that your happiness does not depend on circumstances. Like the sky that holds both sunshine and clouds, your heart can hold difficulties without losing its calm. One way to deepen your happiness is through gratitude. Each day, take a moment to notice something you appreciate. A kind word, the warmth of the sun, or the taste of your food. Gratitude shifts your mind away from what is lacking toward what is already good. It helps you see your life as rich and full. Another essential part of supporting your happiness is kindness, especially kindness toward yourself. Often, we are hardest on ourselves. We criticize and judge. But the Buddha teaches us that compassion starts with how we treat ourselves. When you notice self-criticism, pause. Speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend, with gentleness and encouragement. Forgiveness is also a key to inner peace. Holding on to anger or resentment is like carrying a heavy burden. It weighs down your heart. To forgive does not mean forgetting or excusing harm. It means freeing yourself from pain by letting go of what no longer serves you. When you forgive, you open space for happiness to grow. Remember, happiness is not a goal to reach in the future. It is a way of being you cultivate now in the present moment. Every small act of mindfulness, kindness, and gratitude is a seed planted in the soil of your life. With patience, these seeds will grow into a steady joy that shines from within. Surround yourself with simplicity. Clutter and chaos can cloud the mind. Keeping your living space clean and organized supports a clear, calm heart. It is easier to be present when your environment is peaceful. Choose carefully what you allow into your life, whether objects, people, or habits. Let your space and your day reflect what nourishes you. Technology and distractions can pull you away from yourself. Setting boundaries around screen time or social media helps you stay connected to your inner world. Use these tools mindfully rather than allowing them to control your attention. Take breaks to breathe deeply and return to stillness. Cultivate patience, especially with yourself. Change does not happen overnight. Building a life that supports happiness is a gentle unfolding. Some days will be easier, some harder. When you stumble, do not despair. Simply begin again moment by moment. Look deeply at your thoughts. Are they helping you or harming you? Buddhism teaches that our minds often create stories that cause suffering. Learning to observe these thoughts without judgment allows you to choose which ones to follow and which to let go. Connect with nature whenever possible. The natural world is a great teacher of peace and resilience. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Listen to the wind. Watch the clouds drift by. These simple experiences remind you of the vastness beyond your worries. Remember to smile, even if you don't feel like it at first. The body and mind influence each other. A gentle smile can soften your heart and ease tension. It is a small but powerful tool to bring yourself back to joy. Be mindful of your speech. Words carry energy. Speak kindly to others and yourself. Avoid harsh or negative language. When your words are gentle and true, your mind finds calm and your relationships deepen. Find moments of silence each day. Silence is not empty. It is full of presence. In silence, you can hear your own heart clearly. Meditation is one way to experience this silence. But even a few quiet breaths in the morning or evening can help you connect to your inner happiness. Practice generosity, not just of things but of time, attention, and love. Giving opens the heart and breaks down walls of isolation. When you share with others, you also share with yourself, creating a web of connection that supports your happiness. Trust the process. Life is always changing. Sometimes you will feel joy, other times difficulty. Both are natural. Accepting this flow without resistance allows your happiness to be steady, not dependent on circumstances. Remember the Buddhist teaching. Happiness comes from within, not from outside. Your own company is your closest friend. Treat yourself with respect and care, and you will find a wellspring of peace no one can take away. When you wake each morning, remind yourself, today, I will be present. Today, I will treat myself kindly. Today, I will find joy in the simple gift of being alive. These intentions guide your steps and build a life rich with inner happiness. This is the way of the Zen master, not by force or struggle, but by gentle attention and loving presence. Let your daily life be your practice. Each breath, each step, each smile is a chance to cultivate happiness in your own company. As you walk this path, remember to look with kindness at your journey. You're doing well. Each moment is new. Each moment is a gift. Happiness is not far away. It is here, within you, waiting to be discovered again and again. Imagine the soft light of dawn slowly filling the quiet room where you sit. The world outside is waking, but here, in this moment, there is stillness. This stillness is not empty. It is full of peace, full of presence. You have traveled far to reach this place within yourself. Now you're home. To live a life where you find happiness in your own company is the greatest gift you can offer to yourself. It is the path the Buddha showed us, a path not of running away from life, but of embracing it fully, here and now. It is a journey to freedom, where no one else's opinion, no outside noise, can disturb the deep calm that lives inside you. Many people spend their lives looking outside for something they already have inside. They look for love, for approval, for happiness in the world around them. But the truth is simple. Happiness is not something to find. It is something to remember. It is your nature, like the sky is always blue behind the clouds, like the sun always shines behind a mist. When you learn to be your own friend, to truly enjoy being with yourself, you stop chasing shadows. You begin to live gently and kindly with all your moments, pleasant or difficult. You understand that joy is not about perfect circumstances, but about how you meet those circumstances with an open heart. Imagine a river flowing freely, without resistance, bending and turning, yet always moving forward. Your life is like that river. When you resist being alone or try to fill every quiet moment with distractions, you cause yourself suffering. But when you allow yourself to be fully and simply, you flow naturally with life's currents. This does not mean you must be alone all the time. The Buddha himself was among people, teaching and walking with others. But he also spent time in solitude to nurture his inner peace. He knew that the strongest happiness comes from the quiet power of the mind at rest, undisturbed by cravings or fears. You too can cultivate this strength. Start with small moments, just sitting quietly, breathing, noticing the world inside you without judgment. Each time your mind wanders, gently bring it back, like a loving gardener tending to a delicate flower. Over time, these moments become a refuge, a place where you can return again and again. Remember, the company you keep most is your own mind. If your mind is restless or harsh, your experience will be the same. But if you practice kindness toward yourself, patience when things feel difficult, and gratitude for what is, your mind becomes your closest friend. You begin to trust yourself, to love yourself. And love, true love, does not depend on conditions. It is not like a flame that flickers with every breeze. It is a steady warmth beneath, the fire that burns calmly through all seasons. This love is always with you, waiting to be discovered when you stop seeking it elsewhere. Think of the Buddha's simple words. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. These words are not just advice. They are an invitation to come home, to rest in your own heart, to know the quiet joy of being simply alive. When you embrace solitude, you find that it is not loneliness. Loneliness is the feeling that something is missing. But in the stillness of your own presence, you discover completeness. You are enough, just as you are, here and now. This realization changes everything. You no longer fear the silence. You welcome it. You no longer run from yourself. You meet yourself with open arms. In this meeting, there is healing, there is growth, there is peace. Your days become softer. Your worries become lighter. You begin to see the beauty in simple things. A breath, a smile, the warmth of sunlight on your skin. Happiness is no longer a distant dream, but a constant companion. This is the enlightened life the Buddha spoke of, not a life without problems, but a life where problems do not shake your deepest peace. You become like a tree standing tall in the storm, rooted in your own strength. And so, as you close this journey, remember this. The greatest teacher you will ever have is yourself. Trust your inner wisdom. Cherish your own company. Walk gently on this path of self-discovery with courage and compassion. If you have found meaning in this teaching, I invite you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support helps keep this light alive, helping others find their way to peace. Please drop your thoughts in the comments. And to keep the spirit of calm and positivity flowing, write Namo Buddhaya below. May you find endless happiness in your own company. May your heart be peaceful. May your mind be clear. And may you live each day with the quiet joy of one who has come home. Namo Buddhaya.